No, no! No! Are you listening?
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Sean from Middle Grounded. I know this is not the exhibition video. I know. But it will be out today. I got way too tired last night. I made it through about 15 minutes of Cornville three-way stream before I just tapped out. The call was a terrible one anyway. And whenever he and Winnie's boyfriend / husband are on there, it's like a conversation fest. And when you're tired, oh boy, it makes it rough. And it has nothing to do with them. They're great, great streamers. When I make that video, I want to make sure all of the points I have get across, because there are multiple things going on with his desire to be naked and constant send naked photos and just things about his trailer I wouldn't send anybody. I mean, when you're to the point where you're scrubbing yourself and saying, I wish you were here, in what looks like a POW bathroom, we got a problem here. Well, we're going to talk about the word game and how Lorne uses it as a weapon. Lorne will use it to absolve himself of all responsibility. He will use it whenever he's abused or whenever he's manipulated or done anything to these catfish women that is just too much for any normal human to handle, and they have to come up and see him. They always kind of find a way, as you know. And I don't blame them, because even in real life, there is no stinking way I would ever go up and meet this rage monster who thinks things are going to be different when we are in person. So whenever these catfish women don't go, he always says, it's part of a freaking game. He would use that on any woman in real life. She was playing a game with me. Amanda James, Paula, who he was not in a relationship, got really angry because she didn't want to have a relationship, because in Lorne's head they were headed towards a relationship. So naturally, because that's what he believes and it didn't work out, it was all a part of a game. And there's another reason he uses the word game. People like to say that Lorne, between 8 and 10 beers, has a sweet spot where he's intelligent, and that's the furthest thing from the truth. It's just where his brain has calmed down enough to where he notices things. So naturally, when Emma and Dan don't answer the phone, how come every time I call, you don't answer the phone? It's why Xavier Von Erich, all these demons live in his head, because it explains away his misfortunes and his behaviors simply by saying it was all a part of a game. Slothcat has some funny videos where there's like a whiteboard in the background, and he's got all these different circles with names and things in them. And I believe that's how his brain works. He just can't put them together. Like if you had a bunch of pictures on a board with a ball of yarn, Lorne wouldn't know what to do. There'd be crisscrosses and there'd be overlapping lines, and he wouldn't be able to put it together. The amount of situations that would have made normal people say, what is going on? TSA, Rhoda's funeral, and the list goes on. Debbie with the sawfish, Jamie Amy losing her voice to COVID. Eventually, I assumed Lorne would say, oh, I figured he might say, how come every one of my catfish women, Casey, Winnie, all of them, end up in the hospital at some point? I would have asked myself that. Getting pulled over by cops. The whole mouse bit with Winnie. It is all so unbelievable, as he says, unbelievable, that eventually you thought he would figure it out. But it's all a part of a game, and that's why she couldn't come up and see me. The Jamie Amy situation with the robot voice, even if Lorne did mention that he thought it was bullcrap, he still kept it going. He did. Part of his narcissism won't allow him to see that things are not as they really are, because it would mean he's stupid. So he uses the word game. I hope that makes sense. He uses the word game to explain it away because he couldn't figure it out. I would love for Xavier Von Erich, or as he says, Erk, to show up in real life and talk to Lorne, and have Lorne accuse him of being Raptor Bacon, and then have him accuse him of being Nathan and all these other people, and just let Xavier Von Erich tell Lorne what he's been doing all these years. Lorne still wouldn't believe him. Here's some video, Lorne. This is where I've been. It's all a part of a game. You made that video up. You just don't want to tell me what's really going on. Ramona was part of a game. Emma. To think that this moron actually thought Sherry Twist, who worked, I believe, for the Kentucky Bureau of Investigation, who I had met before the sting. My father worked in state government for a very long time. And Sherry Twist was using a program, I believe, that my father was in something developing it. So when I saw her name, I'm like, oh, I know her. Now, I'm not sure if she's still alive, but I work in the area, and if she is, I will see if she'd be willing to give an interview. But the exhibition video is coming out today. I know it's a Monday. I just wanted to get a video out. I'm on the road with my son, which is why there is a lack of curse words. But whenever you hear Lorne say game, remember, I can't explain this. I don't want to admit that I have no idea what's going on. I don't want to admit that I got played. And I don't want to take responsibility for my actions. I love you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you in the next one.